that the more fundamental question is whether there is democracy in the party, which can only be reflected by an election, valid elections being held within the party. And if that is so, then everything follows. Then you get the symbol, whatever other requirements are. And if that is not, then you run into trouble. So that is at least, if I'm speaking, I speak for myself, my focus will be, if you're talking about democracy, then there must be democracy within political parties as well. So the whole conduct of the elections, not the fine aspects of the elections, here as irregularity or there irregularity, but the fundamental point of an elections may not have complied with all the rules and regulations of the PTI's constitution, which is not really the concern of the courts, nor should be of the Election Commission of Pakistan. But the fundamental question cannot be ignored, that members had been granted a fair opportunity to file nomination papers, to contest the election, and there was a semblance of regularity. That much, overcome that much.
I've got that point. And
by simply saying 14 persons came as complainants and said, we are not being allowed to participate in the elections, to simply discard them by saying they are not members of PTI will not be sufficient, when at least for one of them, Mr. Akbar S. Ahmed, it has been admitted that he was a founding member of the party. Merely because you don't like what a person says does not mean that his membership ceases. Unless you can show he resigned a political party, joined another political party, or went through some disciplinary procedure and was thrown out from the political party. So I don't know about the other candidates, we've not heard much about them, but don't just simply say they were not members of PTI. How would I know you are a member of PTI? You saying so, and they saying so, there must be some parameters within which one can objectively determine this fact.
Absolutely.
So if it is not added to this, and please hear this is also very important, you used the word mala fide in fact and in law. Various allegations, we don't try to be influenced by anything that is said on the media or social media, but your stance is that there is mala fide of fact and law before the court of law, the Supreme Court. Now you must show such mala fide, because a point which was raised yesterday by Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan was the fact that, okay, now I'm not in government, now they are hounding me. He said, no, we had raised this point when you were in government. PTI was in government. ECP was a constitutional body and had called upon you to conduct your elections. This has gone back very far back in time when the PTI was in government. So surely, unless you are saying that ECP was so independent a body that even it was proceeding against those in government then, either you maintain that stance, that will undermine your stance that ECP has suddenly, the same persons in the ECP have suddenly turned subservient to whoever you want to reach. So, if it was suddenly been brought up, they've been pursuing this matter for quite a while. And before that, either you take the plea that the law of election, and mind you, Election Act has not been challenged, any provision thereof.
I will not.
So whether we will not comment on its constitutionality because it has not been challenged. It may be challenged tomorrow, and we don't want to, in these related proceedings.
I'm not challenging them.
So certain provisions were pointed out, then a person will just produce a piece of paper. I've held elections. And would that constitute elections? I'm not going into the nitty-gritty of the elections, mind you. I want to know the general, sort of, every election, everybody complains. I mean, it's rare in Pakistan that nobody complains, but you see the general...
Broader picture.
So, you understood what I...
Ji, I have bilkul understood. Ji. And I'm going to address that. I worked on it last night, and I will address both those questions.